them off. That is your preference. That's fine.
For the Arab circuit, we take everything off.
Okay, Kathy's saying for the Arab circuit, you take everything off. That's fine. These whiskers are actually cat feelers, and they help judge depth perception, and they're usually useful at night. I had a young horse in training. It was a 3-year-old thoroughbred horse that I used to do the clipping and trimming on for a client. The client called one Saturday evening, and I was actually extremely proud of her. She called, she says, "Guess what I did?" And I'm like, "What'd you do?" She said, "I trimmed Woody." I was like, "All right." She did his ears, his whiskers, his bridle path, took off these eye whiskers, and she was so proud of herself. And she should have been, because that was huge. She took the initiative to try something that she was afraid of. I got a call the next morning from the barn staff and said, "Dana, you really need to get here pretty quick and probably need to call a vet. Woody smashed into the wall." Well, okay, which I didn't really understand or comprehend. And when I got there in the morning, this part of his eyelid was hanging down. This was all like flapped down. This eye socket bone he had smashed. Basically, she took off his eye whiskers and he ran into the concrete wall in the middle of the night. And he had never had them taken off. So just because that's something I don't do doesn't mean that it isn't done. To do that, I prefer to hold the eyelid carefully shut, and I'll come over there so you guys can see. Very gently just ask him to close the eye and take these whiskers off. Also, when I'm clipping the head, I will use this thumb again to ask him to close the eyelid. And notice with this eyelid closed, see how the eyeball itself kind of recedes up into the socket? It's easier to ask him to close this. I'm protecting the eyelid from the hair falling into it, and it also fills this concaved area well so that I don't have to go digging and pressing into what's usually like a concave socket. Okay. For the bottom whiskers, again, I'm going to use my thumb, and I've got them over his eyelashes, and I would clip up into my thumb.
Oh, he did that just for me.
Smile. Okay. Did that, where are you? There you are.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Did that answer your question? Yes, ma'am.